I'm honored to be on the call and I'm just grateful. So I'm excited to share with you guys. I said to Lindsay, I was like, like, what do you want me to talk about? And she's like, well, what are you like vibing on right now? And I was like, OMG, like gratitude, positivity, like the law of attraction. And she was like, but I also want to hear your story. And I was like, oh, true. Like, we always think that everybody knows our story. And so it's like we don't share it often because we think that people have already seen it or we're going to annoy people, but it's like our story is our brand and who we are and what this business is. There's 460,000 coaches. It's like, why is somebody coming to you versus somebody else? So I'm basically just going to tell you guys my story and what's been working for me and what has changed my life. And it may pertain to Beachbody and it may not, but I'm just telling you guys, I always tell people, be open-minded, whatever you believe in. Believe in that and just keep an open mind with like what I share at the end of my story, because not everybody's going to feel your vibe, but this is a vibe I hope everybody gets on. So I'm basically just going to share my story and, like I said, what I'm doing now that's been working for me and my team and everything. So my journey started in 2013 and I was at my heaviest weight at that point. I was 175 pounds. If you guys don't know me, I'm a nuggety 5'2". So I was considered overbeast. That was overweight and obese put together. I was considered obese at that point, and I was just miserable. I was in college, or I just graduated college. I was in college a couple years before, but in college, it's college. You're partying, you're drinking. I lived in the North End. If you guys aren't from the Boston area, that's like fat ass plates of pasta and pastries and calzone at 1 a.m. when you're coming back from the bar, hammered, croissants, just you name it. I was eating it and drinking it and doing it. I was just not happy. I didn't have like a bad upbringing. My parents are amazing. I have a great family support system. Nothing like super crazy or, tragic has really happened to me. I do have some things in my past that I just have to keep there because it's hurtful for other people to bring up, and it's things that I've dealt with and moved on from. But, I didn't have anything horrific happen to me as a young kid. So I had no reason to be miserable and hating life and just depressed, but I was unhappy. Like I said, I had gained, a serious amount of weight. I was binge drinking. I was binge eating. I was doing stupid ass shit in college. I was going home with guys that I didn't know from the bar. I was not taking care of my body, respecting my body. I was making poor decisions. It's not smart when you're blackout wasted going home with strangers. It's not smart when you're blackout wasted to be drinking and driving and being an asshole and endangering other people's lives. I had been arrested. I was just not in a good place at that point, and I thought I was going to like quit college, and then, I finally graduated. I survived, and I was just miserable. I was angry. I was depressed. I was a bitch. Everybody knew that I was a bitch. If you said anything, Jinelle was going to just lash right back out at you. And I was still that human that had that big heart, though. I've always had my big heart. And I was always very giving and considerate and loving, but I was just angry. And I just had this attitude, and I didn't want to be on the planet anymore at that point. I had no idea where to begin, and so I didn't. So I weighed like $175 in 2010, and I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to do anything because this is working for me right now. So 2013 finally rolled around, and at one point I was bending over to tie my shoe, and my stomach had gotten so fat that I couldn't even tie my shoe. And I was like, holy hell, like, when did this happen? And I was like, Jinelle, you have to do something. Like, you cannot keep eating like this. And I'm like a wicked binge eater. I still have a problem now with binge eating. I just said it to Katie. Like, we bought a bag of Smart Food. Like, I can't just have like one handful. I'm like, okay, the bag is here. I'm going to finish it in one sitting until I'm sick. And I don't know why. Like, amen, exactly. It's like, I know that's my problem. I know that's my weakness. So it's like, I don't even buy that food like that because I can't eat it like a normal human. Like, I'm sorry, I can't just have 6 crackers and walk the fuck away. I eat the whole bag. It's just like, it is what it is. So I was just a hot mess. So I didn't know where to go, but I knew I had to start. And the first place for me was, yeah, who could ever just have one? Legit, seriously. It's like, okay, good luck. Like, but I knew I had to start somewhere. So I started with food. The thing that I knew the most, the thing that was like comforting me, that was my drug. Luckily I didn't do any drugs, but I was drinking and driving, but food was my drug. And that's what I used to numb the pain of why I was so angry and upset and, longing for these guys that were treating me disrespectfully because I didn't have that self-worth and I didn't have that self-love and I didn't know what it meant to be like in a healthy relationship. And so I just settled because I didn't realize that I deserved better. And so I started with food. I knew that I had to make a change. I made it my New Year's resolution in 2013 to stop drinking because I was doing dumb shit. When you get home and you're like, hey, how did I get here? I know I drove on the highway, but like, that's not smart. And so I stopped drinking and I started clean eating. So I made it my New Year's resolution in 2013 just to lose weight. That's what it was for me at that point. Like, I didn't care that I was miserable and unhappy. It was about the weight. I just was uncomfortable and unhappy in my own skin. And so, like I said, I started with food. Then I went to the gym and started doing what I thought I knew I was doing at the gym. Like everybody, you walk around lost. You're like, sure, this looks great. Like, yeah, everybody says cardio. Like, I'm going to do some cardio. And I started getting results, like, not as quickly as I wanted. That's for damn sure. And so I enlisted the help of a trainer, and my journey had went on for about a year before I found Beachbody. And I ended up losing probably like 20 pounds, nothing serious. Like, I was making progress, but everybody knew I was making these moves and I was trying and I was putting the effort in and showing up every single day. And it was hard, going from not even being able to tie your shoe to trying to do a workout and go to the gym. And, you're at your rock bottom and you're like, how the hell am I going to go do that today? When you're like not even in the right mindset and mind frame to do that. Mind you, I didn't even know what was going on up here at this point. I was just working on the outside. And so I knew I needed more though, and I knew something was missing, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm still not happy. And so, excuse me, I have like an allergy thing going on with all this pollen, but I didn't know what it was, but I knew I needed something more. And so, unfortunately, at the end of 2013, I ended up getting an upper injury that I still deal with today. And so I have to watch my upper. Lifting and any of that sort, shoulder, pec, chest, it's complicated. But so I was like, oh no, like, what am I going to do? I can't lift. I'm just going to crank cardio. So I started ripping cardio at the gym, and one day I was on the treadmill and I'm like, OMG, a T25. Like, this looks like it really works. I'm like, look at Tanya, this is my girl Tanya. She just had a baby and now she's got a 6-pack. And I'm like, well, shit, if Tanya's got a 6-pack, like, I could do this, and I haven't even had small humans yet. So I'm on the treadmill and I'm like, well, I literally have tried everything else. I did the wraps. I did it works. I did the fat burners. I did the not eating. I did the not eating carbs. I did the ideal protein, which I call the pouch diet. And you eat pudding and crap out of a pouch. Like, I did it all. Like, I looked into Advocare, but it was all pills and caffeine. And so I was like, well, this works. It's 25 minutes. I can rip it from home and look like a hot mess of a fool. And it looks like it works. I have nothing to lose. And so if you guys don't know, my upline Lester no longer works the business, but Lester had been like creeping me like a big creeper and knew I was on my journey, and he was friends with my sister and reached out to me. And so he was like, you're coaching with other coaching, like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, listen, brother, like, I'm not even capable of helping other humans yet. I'm still working on myself. So he let me borrow T25, which was fantastic of him, because I was like, I don't have the money. I was that human. I don't have the money. And it's like, I really didn't. I had to borrow it because I couldn't even commit to it at that point. And so I ripped T25 for about 4 months. until I was like, wow, this shit really works. And the weight literally just started melting off of me. Mind you, I wasn't even doing Shakeology yet. Lester just let me buy it. So I was that person that was like, okay, I'm going to do this for months and I'm still going to like, I'll be on your maybes list down the road, you know, like follow up. And so he let me borrow it and I got crazy results. And then I started drinking Shakeology and it was like, weight just literally like started melting off of me. I ended up losing over 30 plus pounds and 30 inches with T25 from April to June. And then I ripped T25 for like 2 more months and I got on with like a hip hop abs challenge pack. I had no idea. I was just like, he's like, oh, you know, I didn't know. He's like, this is free this month. And I was like, oh shit, it's free. It's for me. Like, I'll take it and then I'll get the Shakeology. And so I just like, that was what I got started with. And I'm just going to show you guys. I don't know if you know my before and after, but I'm just going to screen share with you. That's my, you know, before picture in 2010. And then that was my after for 2015. You know, and I don't really have a ton of pictures of when I started my journey in 2013 because I was so ashamed and embarrassed to take pictures that I wasn't taking a ton of photos. So I do have one and I look just about the same in 2013. Can you guys not see my screen? Did I mess that up? Oh no, you can see. Okay, cool. And so, you know, the products worked. Am I done screen sharing? How do I like get back to you guys? Oh, I don't want to leave the meeting. Oh, I broke it. I broke it. I don't know how to stop. I don't want to screen share. OMG. Somebody help me.
We just saw you when you stopped.
I got it. Okay. I don't know what happened. Sorry. Wow. That was like a struggle. So I signed up in June, like months after my T25 venture, and I signed up to coach. I'd gone to a baby shower. Everybody was like, OMG, you look incredible. What are you doing? Tell me your secrets. And I was like, well, shit, like I'm coaching without the coaching. I might as well sign up and do this and get paid to do it. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Well, I won't say that. I knew in college, coming out of college, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm a graphic designer. I knew that when I got out of school, I didn't want to work 9 to 5. So I did like a freelance thing, and then I started my own graphic design company, and I was like, I do not want to work for somebody. And then I discovered Beachbody, and I was like, well, shit, now I'm really literally getting paid to be me. Even if I wasn't, like Lester said, he's like, you're coaching without the coaching, Jinelle. You're coaching and you're not getting paid to do so. You're talking about these products. You're sharing it. You're helping other humans. You're giving people meal plans. So I was like, awesome. So I was all in from the get-go. I earned my success starters right off the bat, my 3 months in. I hit Emerald right off the bat. I have been in the coaching business for 2 years now, and I am currently an Emerald, and I will tell you why. And I don't care that I'm an Emerald because it all kind of plays out with what's happened with life lately. And I just went balls to the wall with this business. Like, I was like, holy shit, if I can get paid to be me and help other people, that is like an incredible thing. And so my first, year-ish, took me a year to hit Diamond. I really struggled with finding those business builders and those humans. And I just kept putting it out there and being relentless and sharing consistently. And Lindsay reached out to me and was like, I love your authenticity. And if you guys have realized, I basically have like no filter. I really do try to watch my fucks on Facebook because I know it's not business professional and Lindsay Matway, and not everybody is like, using that language. And I understand that, but I don't care. If you don't like a good F-bomb here and there, then peace the fuck out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's how I talk. I do my best to watch it when there's small humans around. Sometimes it slips out. I'm human. I don't know what to tell you. So I've realized along my journey that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, which was really hard for me at the beginning, which usually is kind of hard for everybody because we want to be that cup of tea for everybody and we want to help everyone. We'd like drink this Kool-Aid and we're so excited and we get these amazing results. And F-bombs, small humans. Yeah. And it's, that's me being authentic. I have my own lingo. I talk my own way. and I have been consistently showing up. And so for me, it was the only thing holding me back with this business, and what has held me back is like right here. I got the results. I love the programs. And right now I am not even doing a workout. Right now I am about 6 months, almost a year deep to doing no workout because I have an injury. I have a recovering groin injury, and then I have a second groin injury. I pulled my groin last July doing Fix Extreme. I pulled my right groin, and then in November I was like on the fritz of pulling my left groin, and so I stopped doing that. So now I almost am, 8, however, I don't math, however many months, from December, not even November to now, so like 6 months doing no workout. And it's crazy because everybody's like, how do you do that? How do you not go insane? Because working out changed my life. Shakeology and Beachbody changed my life. And for a while I had a really hard time because everybody else was ripping a workout. Like when I found out that, my left hamstring was not in good shape either, everybody was getting ready to rock, hammer, and chisel. And here I am, and I'm like, cool, I can't do anything. And so I had to do the work up here because it was a mental battle. When you are ripping a workout and you're doing something that you love and that you're passionate about and that has changed your entire life, and then you have to completely stop, that is hard, and it can be depressing, and it can be difficult because you're removing something you love from the equation, and it was really hard for me. And so in December I stopped workouts altogether, just like flat out stopped. Luckily a Beachbody coach, that is on our team gave me a PT routine, and she's a physical therapist. She gave me the routine for free, which is amazing because I don't have insurance. And I sat there for 6 months. Oh my God, do you see the cats behind me? Like cats are so crazy. I don't have cats and they're like nuts. And so for 6 months I sat idle and I didn't do the PT routine. Like I just started PT about 6 weeks ago because I wasn't at a good point in my like mental game, because I was discouraged and frustrated, and being able to do normal bodily functions and activities with your legs can be discouraging when you have a setback or an injury. And so I didn't do it. So I just sat idle and I stewed in my own shit for a little bit until I like had a moment and an epiphany that I knew I had to take care of me in order to take care of everybody else. And a moment, oh my God, I'm like combining words, epiphany and moment. I don't know what's happening today. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I had that epiphany about 6 weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you what that was all about. So if you guys don't know, I came off the Ultimate Reset about 2 months ago. So I'm like 8 weeks off the Ultimate Reset, and I had my epiphany about like 6 weeks ago. So it's all kind of like a timing thing. And so with my injury, I also found a love of yoga. And so I've been doing a lot of yoga lately, and breathing and being present and trying to really quiet my brain. And as a lot of you know, that's a very difficult thing to do, but also the most successful people meditate and quiet their brain and train their thoughts and master their mindset. So guess what? I want to be successful. So that's what I'm trying to do. And so if I was in that point where I was like, if I can't do a workout, I have to challenge myself with something. I needed something. I felt stagnant. It was my birthday. I just turned 28. I was like, wow, like this is great. I'm living at my dad's house. I'm preaching life by design and girl boss. And here I am and nothing's happening. And I was like, I have to do something. And so I was like, I'm doing the most challenging foodie thing that I know. Catting. I'm doing the most challenging foodie thing I know. And I was like, it's Ultimate Reset. And so I was like, wow, I guess I'm really committing to this. So I put it out on Facebook, held myself accountable, and I knew it was going to go down because I also had a date set because I had the opportunity to do a boudoir photo shoot. I had won a photo shoot on Instagram for self-love and self-worth by just putting it out there and preaching what I preach about loving yourself. And thanks so much, dude. The pictures came out unbelievable. And I knew that I had gained about 15 pounds when I was with my ex-boyfriend in November. And so I was at my heaviest weight this past April since starting my journey. So that was like a bad feeling for me when I started to feel guilty and I felt uncomfortable tying my shoes again this past April. I was like, you have to do something. You have to do something. You know, you're not working out. You can't be eating like that. It's a different thing if you're working out and you're burning off, you know, those cheats that you have. But if I'm just sitting here and not working out and eating the same thing, it's like, hello, it's not the same results. And so I crushed the reset. It was a mental battle, a physical battle. It was just like, you know, a foodie struggle, but I did it. And I'll tell you this, I'm 2 months off of it and I feel the best I ever have in my entire life. And I'm still basically only eating meat about once a week. So I still have been eating vegetarian coming off the reset, and I still have abs, which is unbelievable because I haven't had abs since not working out. So it's pretty cool what happens when you hammer down on that nutrition. And as a foodie, I know that, but also I'm a binge eater. And those two, it's like, it's tough being a fit foodie and a binge eater, man, because it's just hard locking that game face on and getting that discipline in. And so I came off the reset. I was feeling like on cloud nine. I felt stagnant in April. I came off of it and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take on the world. Let's do this. My team was going crazy. Craig was on the cusp of diamond. And I was like, oh my God, we're pushing for 1-star qualifying. There was amazing things happening. It was just like game on May. And then May comes and it's like, you're like, where are all the people? May was a tough month. Everybody struggled with Success Club. Like, hello, Beachbody lowered the requirements for summit parties to let people in because that's how tough May was. So my team was on fire during the hardest month. And I didn't even have a team until 6 months ago, you guys, when Craig joined. I didn't have any business builders, nobody. So for a year, I worked this business and I was like, I'm talking to myself on my team page. I'm talking to my parents, like nobody, but I just kept showing the fuck up because I was like, this is what I meant to do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is going to change my life and I'm changing lives around me. I know I'm meant for more. I know I'm meant to do big things. I can just feel it inside of my soul. Like I just know it. And so I just kept showing up. And so I come off the reset. We're like, on fire. Everybody's ready to crank. May's super stagnant and it's just like, you're like, what's happening? But we're powering through. And I will tell you, none of my team hit Success Club besides me and Craig, but it was our biggest month yet. And we had 10 people on the board. And for me, not having a team 6 months ago, I was like, woo, like things are happening. And so I'm going to tell you what my epiphany was because we have like 10 minutes-ish left. I'm just like watching the clock-ish. We started at 8-ish. A lot of issues. But my epiphany was coming off the reset. I was like, we got to make moves. We can do this. We can do this. I've been doing a ton of head and heart work. I have been doing the magic, the power, the secret. It won't shut off on us though at 30. Okay, cool. So I've been doing a ton of head and heart work the last 6 months. And I had gone to the retreat in Tahoe with Colleen in January. We had been on the Success Club trip. I was seeing all these other people doing this and building their life. And I'm like, why the fuck can't I do this? And it's like, you can, Jinelle, just get the fuck out of your brain and put all of that self-doubt out of there. And so I was like, you're the one holding yourself back. You have to do something. You have to figure this out. And that was my mindset coming off the reset because I was already feeling damn good. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking all of this energy and I'm putting it back into my team and out into the universe because I want everybody else feeling this good. And so I was like, how am I going to do that? And so 6 weeks ago, I was in New Hampshire. I live on the Cape right now. I went to New Hampshire. Most of my team is based out of New Hampshire and we had a team dinner. And most of my team is parents, and which is really weird because I am so far from a parent. It's frightening. I have no small humans in my future anytime soon. And I don't know, like, I just wouldn't even know where to begin. But my team is parents, which is really cool. And so I walk into Craig's apartment. If you don't know Craig, he's lost 100 pounds in like 6 months. He's a single dad. He's got 2 small nuggets. And I walk into Craig's apartment. Like a decent sized apartment, and there's just shit everywhere. There's like kids stuff, and there's just like looks like a bomb went off, and there's like 4 small humans running around, and it's just like and I'm like, and it's just like, holy crap, there's a lot happening. And Coop comes up to me. Craig's the youngest. He's a nugget. And, you know, Coop's never met me. He sees me on team calls, you know, on via Facebook, whatever. And he comes up to me and he hugs me and he just kind of like melted into me. And literally we're sitting in the kitchen. He's sitting in my lap and I couldn't even get up if I wanted to because I'm not strong enough to get up off the ground at this point without pushing myself off of something because I'm using my legs, you know, and my groin in that area. And so I was like, I can't even get up if I wanted to. I'm stuck here like in a little Coop love sandwich. And I was like, oh my God, like this kid, like I'm changing this kid's life. I've changed this kid's life forever because his father found me. And if I did not keep sharing my journey, his father was probably going to kill himself. Craig is a big dude. If you have not seen Craig in his before and after, it's like, holy mother of shit. He literally lost a human. He literally lost me. I'm 120 pounds. He lost 104 pounds. Like, that's incredible. I love when people are like, these products don't work. And I'm like, yeah, they don't work if you don't open the fucking package. Like, that's how these products don't work. So I walk into Craig's and I'm like, oh my God, like, this is my why. This is why we need to keep digging deeper and why we need to keep doing this for these kids. Like, this is it. We're building a life of design and financial freedom so that Craig doesn't have to work 6 days a week and have to fight through court for, you know, bullshit child support. I don't even want Craig to need child support. Like, I want Craig to have that financial freedom. I want Cooper and Aiden to be able to live in a house with a backyard and a fence so that they can play in. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like my why. And so like, ding, like my light bulb went on and it just started to fuel my fire. And I was like, I am so blessed and so grateful for this team and these humans and the opportunity to be a part of their journey and put all of that out there. And so right after that, after that team dinner, we were like on the brink of like qualifying for 1-star, and the qualification like had just passed and we didn't make it. I was like, we're not going to make it. I was like, there's not enough hours in the day, unfortunately, to get it done. And so the next day I like get that email and it's like, yay, we've pushed the qualification like a week ahead. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Craig, this is like it. Like, we can, I know we're meant to be like on stage. Like, this is like where it's at. Like, we have to push for this, because I knew he was on the brink of diamond, and that's huge for him because that's like a huge spot. Bye, Megan. Thanks for getting on, dude. I need a sip. Sorry, I'm choking on nothing. And so now that the qualification's pushed, we're pushing hard like motherfuckers to try to get this qualification, because I'm like, this is going to be the beginning of Craig's business. This is how we're going to excel this team. Like, this is it. We're doing this. And so we made the qualification. We get 1-star qualifying. I'm putting out all this good energy out there. I'm waking up grateful. I'm putting out all of this love, this positivity. Everybody's like, what are you on lately? What are you on? And I'm like, I'm high on life. I'm basically waking up grateful for whatever my current situation is and being thankful and present for it. I'm so thankful I live at my dad's, because you know what? I've grown a lot on Cape. I've figured out who I am, what I like, what makes me feel good, what doesn't make me feel good, and the humans that I want to surround myself with. And all of that has happened for me on the Cape. With food, that's been the biggest game changer for me in the reset. And then the humans that I want in my life. And it's amazing how everything pans out. And so I've been waking up and practicing the law of attraction, which is a part of The Secret. If you guys haven't read The Secret or heard about it, if you're like, that's not for me, that's where I'm telling you to be open-minded. Because whatever your belief is, if you believe in God or Buddha or the universe, whatever you believe in, there's some higher power working, of fate or whatever you believe in. And so for me, it's the universe. And putting out that law of attraction and that energy and those vibrations that I want to come back to me is what I'm retraining my brain to do. Literally, as soon as I hear or say or think a negative thought, I'm flipping my gratitude switch, and I'm just flipping that switch and I put it in the positive. Like yesterday, me and Katie have been talking about how, again, this month has been tough. It's all going to be the 15th, and I'm not locked in for Success Club. And, we like to lock it in like real early because why not? Who wants to hustle at the end of the month? Nobody. And so I just said yesterday, I was like, I can't believe like nobody wants to talk to me. And then that's what I was saying like last month. And Candace was like, no, everybody is talking to you. She's like, stop saying nobody wants to talk to you. And she's like, look at you over here and, saying this, this, and this. And then you're saying nobody wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. And so yesterday, me and Katie are sitting here and we're talking about Success Club. And I'm like, no, everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody's talking to me. Everybody's talking to me. And it's like literally I'm just like stopping my mouth and my brain in its tracks when I think of anything negative. And you're like, well, how do I do that, Jinelle? It's called practicing and showing up every single day. And that's what I've been doing for 6 weeks. And you're like, well, how does that going to help me? It's going to help you because everything in life revolves around love and being grateful and appreciative for where you are right now, because where you are right now is going to get you to where you're going to be going. And so I'm telling you guys, me being Emerald right now, it's not affecting me because I know it's getting me to where I need to be. And I'm going to tell you the silver lining in that story. So we hit 1-star qualifying and I'm like, yes, 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 I knew it. Like I knew this was meant to be. Fuel your fire. Like this is the date was moved for us. And so we lock it in for a week. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. Craig is still diamond, and it was my doing. I lost a right leg emerald that was secure for 2 years, and it just happened all too quick. We couldn't save it. We couldn't, sign anybody up. I was like, the damage is done, and I opened up my office, and it was like, current rank, emerald. And I was like, well, I go, how do I go from 1-star qualifying to diamond to emerald? And I'm like, I don't care. It would have been my biggest Beachbody paycheck that day. Just like a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I don't care because now I have the opportunity because I was building my left leg. I was building my weak leg. My right leg was fine. I'm on Colleen's strongest right leg. Like I just, whatever. I was building my left leg for volume. Rank does not matter to me at this point. I am in it for the green and changing lives. Like when I see the dollar signs, I'm like, oh my God, like I love money. I love numbers. And I love that I get paid to do it being me and helping other people. And so I was building my left leg. So I never had to worry about my right leg at that point. I was secure for 2 years. I'm like, why am I going to dump anybody on there? I'm volume, volume, volume. And so now I'm like, I've got mad people in the pipeline. And now I have the opportunity to put somebody on my right leg that I know is going to be a rock star, because that's how I'm going to go from 1 to 2-star to 3-star, because everybody's on my weak leg. And so my right leg was never a priority. And as soon as I logged into my office, I'm like, if this had happened to me last year, 6 months ago, I would have been like, when I see that little green man and I don't see my cool little golden nug guy, I'm like, oh my God, his shirt changed color. Like I used to get so bullshit. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't even looked at my genealogy because I don't even want to see that green shirt. And I would have been like, no, I'm done. Like I'm not. Like I would have let it ruin my day. And I was like, now I have the opportunity to put somebody else there and somebody that's going to be a rock star. And so I literally just, it's like something happens, flip it. You're in traffic, you're bitching about it. Guess what? You bitching about traffic is not going to get you out of that traffic any faster or make it any less painless. So you might as well embrace it, enjoy the sunshine, and put on some PD or jam out to Missy Elliott. Do something that's going to make you happy, because you have to see the light in the dark. And basically, that's what I've been doing to master my mindset these last 6 months and 6 weeks. Like when I was not in that place to do PT, I was doing yoga. And that's really kind of where I started to feel good and grounded and centered and like, shut this off. Somebody said to me, it's like this quote, it's like, you're in control of your life. if you can control the 6 inches between your ears. And it's like, it gets you good because it's like, it's true. Thoughts are things, you guys. If you think about any time that you had a bad day, I bet you it was like the shittiest day ever because you're already thinking, great, it's going to be one of those days. And you're putting that energy out there. And so you are in control of your thoughts. You can only think either negative or positive. That's it. There's no gray for your brain. It's either or. So you're either living a positive or a negative life. You're either happy or you're not happy. And all of your happiness stems from love. Everything does. And I said this on my team call last night because I'm reading it in The Power and the Magic. And it's true. Again, whatever your belief is, just go with it. And so they talk about how love is, without love, we would not have this planet. We would not have this universe. We would not have you. And it's like, think about it. Without you, without love, you wouldn't have been born from your parents. Without love, we wouldn't have this technology because it came from somebody's heart and their passion. Without love, we wouldn't have the food that nourishes us because people are growing this. They're investing their time, their money, their energy, their love into whatever that is helping us make our lives better. And so we have to be grateful and give with love and do everything with love and be thankful for the situation that we are in. And so what I'm shouting from the rooftops and practicing is gratitude. And so if you're looking for something to figure out how to get more centered and grounded and be present and push those negative self-doubt, disbeliefs out of your head, please pick up The Secret. And again, whatever your religion or spiritual belief is, The Secret talks about the universe. So you just put in your God or whatever you believe there because there's some higher power that's making all of this work. Like, we don't question gravity, you guys. We don't question why we walk on this planet and we're not floating around. We don't even question the planet. Like, oh my God, there's like the dopest sunset right now. Like, we don't question that. It just happens. We don't question how this planet is suspended in space with all of these beautiful things around us and more planets. We don't question it. So you don't need to question where you are right now. You just need to be grateful for where you are. And if you don't know how you're going to get to where you're going to go, you have to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to act as if, and you have to live in abundance and be grateful. That's basically like my whole shebang and what I've been doing the last 6 months and 6 weeks with like my epiphany. And I say 6 months and 6 weeks because I've been working on my mindset the last 6 months with like yoga and being present. And then I've been practicing The Secret and the magic and the power the last 6 weeks. And so it kind of all intertwines together because when I do yoga, I'm present for where I am and I'm living in that moment and I'm centering myself and grounding down. And that's what basically the law of attraction and the power is about, because you're basically feeling your feelings. Thoughts are things. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, that's what you're putting out, you guys. When people are like, what are you on? I'm like, I'm high on life. Like, that's what I'm putting out there. Like, I'm putting that positivity out there. I'm putting that energy out there. And everybody's like, how do you wake up like every day with like unicorns and rainbows like shooting out of your ass? And it's like, I don't. Like, I try and I practice showing up every single day. So every morning I wake up and I gratitude journal. If you guys are not gratitude journaling of some sort, you should really be doing it. And if you're like, I don't have time, well, guess what? You do have time because you're alive and you're breathing and you're lucky to have another day on this planet. Period. If you're like, I don't have anything to be grateful for, you probably should stop and look at the computer you're on, the technology that you have, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, the food that's functioning and helping your body move. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Get down to those little things. Be thankful for the breath in your lungs. Be thankful for waking up one more beautiful day. Be thankful for the blue sky, the gorgeous sunset. Be thankful and put all of that out there, because I am telling you, if you come across somebody and you're like high on life, you're going to make that human smile. Every time I hit somebody up or I reach out to them, I know they're going to leave smiling because I know I'm talking like myself. I'm putting my personality on it and I'm being me. And I know that I'm kind of funny. I make myself laugh. I make people smile. I have a great contagious energy. And it's like I put it out there and I share it with somebody, because why not, you guys? Why not? And again, this call isn't even about Beachbody. It's like, why not feel this good? Why not help others live their best life? And you know what? The best part is that I wouldn't have done any of this if it weren't for Beachbody, because I wouldn't have done personal development. I wouldn't have started gratitude journaling. And so that's the best part, is that you have the opportunity in your hands to change somebody's life just by sharing on social media and being you and being authentic and being grateful. If somebody's not feeling your vibe and they think I'm too happy and too positive and like too jacked up on life, deuces, I don't care. I don't want somebody in my life anyways that is going to bring me down because I'm happy. Like, why do people hate on people when they're happy? Why do people hate on other people when they share selfies? Who cares? If somebody feels beautiful and confident and good in their own skin, why not? You are meant to live an amazing, beautiful, abundant life. You weren't meant to wake up every day and have your body hurt. You're not meant to wake up every day and fucking struggle and look at your bank account and see if you have enough money for groceries. You're meant to do what makes you happy and do what makes you feel good, period. And it's all about the feels. So if something's not feeling good for you, you need to figure out what's going to make you feel good. And so if you're struggling with your brain and mastering that mindset, you need to stop and be grateful and gratitude and be present and thankful for where you are. And if you're like, oh, but Jinelle, I live at my dad's, like, man, it's like, okay, I'm 28, I live at my dad's, like, I get it. But it's like, you know what? I have a place to live, and the rent is cheap, and it's helping me build my Cali dream. So it's like, we have to be grateful for where we are, because it's going to get us to where we want to be. And if you're like, but how? Don't ask the how. Just keep taking action and doing it and believing it, because I have no idea how the hell I'm going to get to California. But you know what? I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it because that is my passion. That is what is going to make me happy, and that is my dream. It's like, why not? We see all of these people. It's like, look at Liz. Look at Colleen. It's like, why can't we do that? These people did the same thing. It's like they took a leap of faith on themselves with Beachbody, with Shakeology. Exactly, we can. And it's like, but this tells us that we can't sometimes. And it's like, you have to just be that light and see that positive in the dark if you're struggling with anything. If something is not making you feel good, you have to figure out how to remove that thing or human, sadly, unfortunately, it happens, from the situation, because making you a priority and you feeling good is number one. Seriously, I'm not trying to make offense or take offense to anybody, but if you have kids, I know your kids are your number one priority, but it's not. You are your number one priority, because guess what? If you're not around to be healthy and do you, guess what? Who's going to take care of your kids? And if you're like, well, my significant other, it's like, well, guess what? Your humans need you. So it's like, you have to be that example. You have to put that out there. You have to set that example for people around you. I don't even have kids, you know what I mean? And it's like, you bet your ass when I have kids, I want them loving themselves. And who cares about the weight? And who cares about this? I want them doing what makes them feel good, not what they should be doing, not what society says they should be feeling and looking like and eating. It's like, no, my kids and my humans and your humans are going to be doing what makes them feel good, because you're making those decisions and you're being the example. So you showing up every single day for your workout, you showing up for your PD, your Shako, your nutrition, everything, you are number one. Because if you're not taking care of you, guess what? I hate to be the real deal right here, but nobody else is going to do it. It's your life. You have to make the decision to do it. You have to make the decision to believe in yourself and stop doubting yourself and push that shit and those negative, toxic self-doubts, those little gremlins out of your head, because we can do it and we are doing it. You know, we may be going against the grain and it may not be what we should be doing, but guess what? I bet you everybody on this call is way the fuck happier than anybody else that's, you know, not taking care of themselves. You have to start with you. And that means showing up. And that means being grateful. And that means taking care of you, because that way you can max out your potential to the wider world and take care of everybody else around you. And for me, I know that has been with gratitude and being grateful and showing up every single day and doing my gratitude journal, being thankful throughout the day. I say thank you multiple times a day, when I drink, when I eat, when I drive and see the blue sky. And if you're thinking, I don't have the time to do that, you just have to be a little bit more intentional about it. You just have to act with intent. You just have to wake up a little bit slower and be thankful for the day. And you have to go to bed being grateful. I gratitude rock. I have a little rock before I go to bed. I rub it in my hand and I think of the best thing that happened to me that day. And by thinking of the best thing that happened to me that day, I think of all the other amazing things that happened to me that day. And that is in the magic. It basically is a 28-day practice of gratitude, and how you can wake up every single day and do a daily activity and focus on that for that day and be grateful for it. So I'm bookending my days with gratitude and then sprinkling it all throughout the day in the middle. Anybody I come across, I am very polite. If somebody does something for me, I say, you're so very welcome. Thank you very much. Like, I don't say, when somebody's like, you're welcome, you're like, yup. It's like, no, say thank you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be polite. It's the little things. You literally have no idea what anybody is going through when you come across them. You know what I mean? If you have somebody, and is being a shitbag in traffic, maybe something's going on with them. You just have to be patient and control the controllable, and you're in charge of you. So smile at them and wave. And you know what? Maybe they're going to smile and maybe they're not, but you know what? You're the bigger person and you're being the light in the situation. If you have a bad day, flip your switch, flip that perspective. You're in control. You're the only one that can flip those negative thoughts to positive. It's all about you, and it's all about just showing up and practicing. I've been doing this for 6 weeks. It's been hard. You bet your ass the first day. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot to gratitude journal, and I forgot to do this. And it's like, you have to keep practicing. Like, you can't just lose 60 pounds overnight. Unfortunately, that's just not how this journey works. But if you're not doing the head and the heart work on the journey, guess what? You're just going to be some human that lost 60 pounds. Because if you're not loving yourself and feeling all those feels again, it comes back to the feels. If you're not feeling good, then you're not living life, because life is all about the feels, and what you're putting out there is coming back to you. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys got something from that, because I usually just feel like one big rant, but it's like, I don't know, it felt good. So I hope it was great.
No, Jinelle, that was so helpful. There was so much that you put into this. Yes, Marianne, this is amazing.
Oh, awesome.
I think honestly, the thing is that this business isn't easy in general. It's even harder when our heads aren't right. We have to get our heads straight. But I think the first thing that people push out the window or the door, they're like, oh, I'll just not do PD today. And then it turns into, I'll just not do PD ever. And it's the first thing. It's the first priority. For me, it's the first thing I do in the morning. The first 10 minutes of my day, I'm reading my PD. That cannot go out the window. We have to, and we have the opportunity to be in a business where it's literally surrounded upon ourselves and working on ourselves and bettering ourselves so that we can put out all those positive vibes and all the feels that, we're feeling. Yes. And I will say too, here's my gratitude journal, thanks to you. So now I do my 10 minutes of PD, and then I've been writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
And the other thing that I love is how you're saying, just keep showing up. This is life. We're not always going to be on the up. Eventually we're going to have a little bit of a dip and a drop. And what I love about what you said is, you find opportunity in the failures. You're not sitting there humph, what do I do now? Woe is me. You're all right, well, let me dig into myself a little bit more and figure out the opportunity in this situation. And that's something I think that everybody can take away from your story. I think sometimes we get caught up in a lot of the success stories of all the top coaches, and they don't share all of their hard times either, right? And that's why it's important to us to keep it real amongst ourselves in this community, that it's not like you hit a rank and you're like, okay, boom, we're just going to keep skyrocketing. No, it doesn't work like that. Shit's going to happen. And we need to kind of take a step back, reevaluate, and then keep moving forward. So thank you
yes.
for all of that. It was amazing.
You're so welcome. Thanks for asking me. I so appreciate it. And if you guys want, any more info from me about like the power and the magic and what I'm doing gratituding, please hit me up. I'm actually running a gratitude group. It was super impromptu, but I was like, everybody should be doing this and joining me. So I'm running a free gratitude group. We are halfway done. I do have people asking me if I'm going to run it again next month. So I'm possibly going to do that, but I'm so grateful and blessed that you asked me to be on, Lindsay, and I'm just appreciative of all you guys. And like she said, it's, peaks and valleys, and it's like, thus is life. You just have to keep showing up and control the controllable. And that's, the 6 inches between your ears, and you have to show up every day to do that. You can't do PD once and think you're fixed. You can't gratitude once and think, you're fixed and life's going to be wonderful. It's a journey. It's a process. Fall in love with it because it's a lifestyle, and bigger things are on the horizon when you just put it all out there and just believe and live in abundance and be grateful and act as if, I put it out there. I'm walking around. I'm like, I am diamond. I am diamond. I am diamond. And it's like, I'm not even stressing it because the rank, it's just a rank. As long as my team is growing and we're changing lives and paying this opportunity forward, and I feel okay with it, that's the biggest victory in the whole thing, you guys, is that I feel good with the fact that I'm okay that I'm an emerald. And I busted my ass for 2 years, but it's like, you know what? I'm seeing my team change and grow and progress and get jacked up and pull all that good out there. You know what I mean? I think they say speed of the leaders, speed of the pack. So it's like when you get vulnerable and dig deep, guess what? Your team's going to do the same exact thing. And like I said, we came out on top in May of the hardest month. And even though we lost qualifications, it's like, guess what? My team is on fire and everybody's living and breathing what I'm putting out there. And it's like, yes, that's exactly how this is all going to continue on. And it's like, just show up. That's it, period.
Honestly, you can tell what a great leader you're just like transforming into because of your mindset. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm excited to see you striking a pose out in California when you're living there. You're going to have that California dream.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, Jinelle. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, dude. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. And yeah, see you all soon.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.